For the first time in Thunder franchise history, Kevin Durant will not be a part of the Thunder Blue. I'm Jenni Carlson here in studio, joined by Barry Tramel on the phone. And Barry, we knew that this news was coming on Monday morning. All signs were Kevin Durant and his free agency was going to make his decision Monday, going to announce his decision Monday. But we had a lot of signs, not only recently, but more long-term, that Durant was at least hinting that he was going to be staying in Oklahoma City. So how surprised are you on the continuum of surprise? Are you stunned? Are you shocked? Where are you, Barry?
I'm pretty far down the road to stunned. I certainly thought he was going to stay in Oklahoma City. Most people did. Most people in Oklahoma thought that. Most people across the league thought that. So I think he hit the NBA with a pretty big twist today. So disappointing news for Oklahoma City, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and Barry, I think that the thing that really surprised me was the Player Tribune statement that Durant released. That's how he announced his decision, saying that he wanted a new challenge and wanted something different, wanted a chance to grow in a different way. And Barry, I mean, that's one thing that, Oklahoma City, the Thunder, while the Thunder has evolved and continued to try to add pieces, the fact is we can't make the Pacific Ocean, we can't bring that here. We can't change the city. The Thunder ultimately can't change its, sort of its hallmarks, its fingerprints. But, it's been a fairly successful way of doing things. I guess to me that was the biggest surprise. This whole new challenge thing wasn't really something we had heard much about, and yet that seemed very central to what Kevin Durant was talking about.
Well, if he wants to bring in a new challenge, he must just be talking about California traffic. I mean, what's the challenge of challenge? He had a challenge here that he hadn't achieved, so I don't put much stock in that term challenge. Now, a new adventure, sure, I get it. Wants to play with somebody different, okay. Wants to play with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry instead of Russell Westbrook, okay. But don't, challenge is the wrong word to bring in. He had a plenty big challenge here in Oklahoma City that he had not fulfilled.
What do you think this really came down to, Barry? You saying that brings the question to the front. We don't believe money was a consideration here from the standpoint of the Thunder was willing to give Durant monetarily whatever he wanted. So if the challenge or different life, I don't know. What do you think it came down to ultimately for him?
Oh, I think ultimately it came down to I think he wants a championship. And how he gets it is not as important as that he gets one. I think if I'm guessing, who knows? I don't know, but that would be my best guess. Is that that's really what he's after? The change of scenery, stuff, where you live, that kind of thing. I believe Kevin Durant when he said it's a basketball decision. So I don't really think it's a lifestyle decision. I think it's a basketball decision, and I think he said, you know what? I'm Kevin Durant. I really need to get one of these things before I get too old, and then I can start thinking about other things, about how to win and who I want to win with. But I better get myself a ring in some regard fairly soon.
Well, that begs the question, Barry. Is it a slam dunk? I mean, I know that Durant goes and joins, Steph Curry, the only unanimous MVP in league history. He goes and joins Klay Thompson, who's, at times was clearly the best player on the court in games that the Warriors played in the postseason. Draymond Green, phenomenal two-way guy that can do a lot of different things. You join that group, and I think a lot of people are saying, well, can the Warriors win more than 73 games in the regular season? Is it possible for a team to go undefeated in the regular season? Is it that easy, Barry?
It's never that easy. Just ask LeBron. When he went to Miami and got with Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, we thought it was going to be a dynasty. They won 2, but they were a lot closer to winning just 1 than they were winning 3. So nothing's ever easy in the NBA. The Warriors just won 73 and didn't win the title. LeBron James is still on his throne, so no matter what the Warriors do, they got to go through LeBron. So it's they're going to be the overwhelming favorite. They're going to be a prohibitive favorite, but there won't be anything easy about it. Even in the West, getting through San Antonio or if they happen to play the Thunder in the playoffs, it'll be a holy war for the Thunder. Nothing comes that easy in the NBA playoffs. So they're the overwhelming favorite, but nothing is guaranteed.
Two things come to mind as I think about the Warriors and now their prohibitive favorite status. A couple years ago, the Lakers acquired Steve Nash and Dwight Howard, and Sports Illustrated splashed them on the cover of their NBA preview. Both of them arm in arm, smiling, well, what fun we're going to have. Those guys, to my recollection, didn't even make the playoffs. So I'm not saying the Warriors aren't making the playoffs. I think they're in a better spot than the Lakers were at that point. But just because you acquire all this talent doesn't mean it becomes seamless to win a championship. The other thing I'm thinking about is what the Warriors are going to have to give up. There's already talk about Bogut being on the trading block, Ezeli being on the trading block. They're 1 and 2 centers. So the depth of talent that they've had has really been an underappreciated aspect of the Warriors' success in the last few years. Everybody talks about Curry, Thompson, Green. I get that. But that depth of talent has really benefited them. And now you got to ask the question, who's around that big four? What do they have in terms of a bench and in terms of role players? Harrison Barnes already agreeing to a deal elsewhere, a starter. So you wonder, what does that look like? How does that play out? Again, Barry, I'm with you. I'm not saying that they're not the prohibitive favorite at this point, but I'm just not sure the transition is as seamless as we might want to believe it is here on July 4th.
No, it's not. And it's a wonderful team they put together, but your point about the depth is well made, and your point also about the seamlessness. Remember when Miami got together? Those guys had struggles the first half of the season and ended up not winning the title that year. So, Golden State's an overwhelming favorite, but it's not automatic. This is not UCLA under John Wooden. You got the injury bug. I mean, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant both have had some injuries that make you wonder. Draymond Green's a wonderful player, but can he be goaded into further criminal acts that were getting suspended? It's a team that's going to be wonderfully made from the start, but it does have some questions. And will they be big enough? Will they be deep enough in certain times? So it's not an unbeatable team, but it certainly is going to be on paper the NBA's best.
We'll have a lot more about Kevin Durant's decision to head to the Golden State Warriors as the day continues. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.